Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Almost a Party. We are on episode 27 now. Where we last left, our players had been exploring um, a large dungeon underneath a crypt, which all points to be a lab that was created by Typhon. After fighting through some various plant creatures within the dungeon, our players have come to the last few doors within the dungeon to explore. Alright, so uh, where we last left off, you had opened both of the doors, which had traps setting off poisonous gas towards them. And you had looked through one of them, and there was another golden door beyond it. And through the other door, you had not looked yet. You had just triggered the trap, and then that was where we ended the session. So, which door would you like to proceed through? So there is the one towards the west and the one towards the east. If you all want to jump into Fantasy Grounds and see it, you can for sure. Uh, but you don't necessarily need the visualization if you don't want it.
I just moved myself in front of the door. This is the one we just opened, right?
Correct.
Fine, trying this door out.
Yeah, that makes sense. We don't have any out of character. We don't have any animal companions. Oh yeah, we do. We have the dog. That's a big part of. Should we send Z2 back to hang out with the kids at this point? Is Z2
That's
not
not a bad
already with the
idea.
kids? I don't remember if we did that. I don't think we did. I think we should.
Yeah.
Z2 is with us. Yeah, we should send Z2
Yeah,
back to keep on company.
Okay. Yeah.
because at the very least he can alert us if something's happening.
Right.
The best part is he's gonna get back there and they're already gone.
Okay. Yeah. Z2 can definitely get sent back there. I feel like that's something Zerdig would agree to. So
Yeah,
Zerdig will send Z2 off to
and
keep
then
an
at
eye on
that
the
point,
kids.
I guess we go with whichever door makes sense, and Ori's in front of one, so let's go with that one.
Okay. All right. So who is going through first?
I'll I'll give it a swing. I'll take lead on this one and open it really slowly and see what I can see in the room.
Okay. Yeah. So when you open it up, there are bits and pieces of plants growing, but it's not as overgrown as the other places of this entire lab. There are vines growing up all along the walls and moss there. And as you look down the hallway with your dark vision that you have, you can see that there is a barrier of some kind, but not like a full wall that goes all the way up to a ceiling. Um, More like a privacy screen.
What does it look like it's made of?
It looks to be made of wood.
Okay. I will very cautiously proceed just inside the door and uh, make a little bit of noise as I do it, just to see if anything moves or starts to react.
Okay. There isn't any sign of movement or life in this room whatsoever.
Any anything stand out in this room as being of a curious nature, something worth investigating?
From what you can see with your position on the map right now, no. All you can see is just straight down that hallway, so your vision is pretty limited. You just see the privacy screen.
Then I will proceed to the end of the privacy screen again, quietly,
Hmm.
just to see, further into the room and see what else is there.
All
I'll
right.
follow him.
Okay. So as you two get in and you get to the edge of the little hallway that leads into this, the room opens up a bit. On the north side, you see that there is a work table that has a few potions and runes on it. And to the south side, you see that there is a mirror that is covered with vines. And you can't really see anything in it because of how the vines are growing.
So it's a mirror covered in vines, and that's the only other real obvious item in here, you said? And aside
Um,
from the table.
yeah.
So yeah, I guess I'd proceed closer to the table and still kind of being cautious as I do.
Okay. So yeah, as you make your way over to the table, there just appear to be a few bottles that have some kind of liquids in them, and the table has a few runes inscribed on it. But
Wait, is it a mirror, like a reflective surface, or is it a lake?
so the mirror is
Sorry.
to the south, and it's like a standing
Okay.
mirror.
Okay, there's like a okay. Sorry, because mirror's also like a lake, and we've seen water and stuff, and I wanted to make sure I understood what we were looking at.
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
Somebody go check. Hey, there. It looks like there's a. Is that a wardrobe on the back corner?
Yeah. So as you make your way to where you can see beyond the privacy screen, you do see that there is a wardrobe. And beyond that, as you get closer, you can see that this is a bedroom.
Got
Hey,
it.
Mizeki, I found something you might want to mage hand open.
Okay. Standard protocol. Get 20 feet away from it and try and open it. Can we move this standing divider thing out of the way so I can see what I'm doing?
Yeah, you can easily move that or knock it over. Ito's right there. There with
Well,
just
what level of repair is this thing in? Is it like trashed or?
it's definitely beginning to rot a bit, but it's still in fairly good condition. This is one of the more well-kept rooms that you've seen in this entire dungeon.
Is rot fixable with whatever that spell is?
Mending?
Ending.
Mending.
Ending.
I mean,
I know
mending
fire's
repairs
not.
holes that are of certain sizes, so sure.
Yeah, I know burning's not. We'll take that. If we can fix it, I'll put it in my space. It'll be a nice
I
little.
Like
feel
a
like
nice
it
little
would.
Japanese screen, yeah.
Yeah.
While they're
So
handling the wardrobe, I am going to investigate the potions and what all the items on that table.
tool.
Okay. How are you investigating them?
I would probably start looking at them and then occasionally picking one up to look closer if I can't discern from 2 feet away what it is.
Okay. So they are various colored liquids, but you have no idea what any of them are or do, just through inspection like that.
Okay, would it be like an Arcana check to see if I can determine the potions?
Cool.
It would more be identify or
think-
experimentation. Take a
Yeah, I
drink,
think
Yeah.
like
see what
DMG,
happens.
if you take a sip, you can tell what it does.
Okay.
Is it, aside from the potions, is there anything else on the table? Anything else of interest? Are there drawers with this table?
Nope.
And is
Right.
that a teleportation circle that I'm standing on?
No. That is the table that you're standing on.
Or he just
Gotcha.
shows
Okay.
up on the table. Hello. It looks like a alchemist table from Skyrim. But
All right.
okay. Once we've poked at things and gotten people out of the way, I will do a 17 to unlock the thing that we needed unlocked. If it's not locked, I'll just open it with my mage hand.
Yeah. So it's just the wardrobe. There are a few.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are a few robes and things in there of various different colors and various different styles for different occasions.
I want to look for secret drawers.
Okay, yeah, go ahead
That's
and
where I would
make
put my
an
secret drawers.
investigation check.
It was
Can I
bad.
can I assist him in investigating the room, or would that be a separate investigation check?
That would, well, he's investigating the wardrobe, but yeah, you can
Gotcha. Okay.
definitely look around the room. Um, Alondiel, where you are there, um, being so close to the mirror, you can see that it's very high quality. Lily seems to be a really good mirror, and the vines and things growing across it. As you examine it a bit closer, you can see yourself in it, and you admire your reflection for a moment. As you do, I would like you to go ahead and make a charisma save.
Because you're just that beautiful.
23.
Okay. You feel this strange pull on you, but nothing seems to happen.
And what you didn't know is Alondia looks at himself in the mirror all the time. So, like, this is normal.
Well, self-portraits, but I
In
haven't
the
shown
meantime, Ito is just gonna check under the bed. Not out of any real reason to do so. He just feels like there's something under there.
There's all the moss and things growing over there, but there is a pair of slippers as well.
Are they particularly good slippers?
Not really. They have moss growing over them. Had they not been, tainted by the overgrowth of plants that this whole area has been, they'd probably be really good.
I want to be clear, dead children plants. We need to make sure we understand where the plants come from.
Ore, you know like nature magic. Can you make the plants leave these slippers?
Could I use druidcraft along those ways and just kind of have the nature die? That's not really how it would work, but I mean, is that something I could do with my druidcraft?
Not really.
There's also, if anyone has prestidigitation, I think this would count as cleaning it.
So Ore's going to walk over to you as you ask that question. It's like, let me see, and I'll wave my hand across it, and all of the moss turns into blooming flowers.
I do have prestidigitation if that matters, but
Well, now
I don't
they
know
are
if
more
moss
full
growth
plants as
counts.
opposed to just to cleaning because Ore has expanded how well they've grown.
They're much prettier now.
They are. I think I'll leave them here. And he
Alondiel,
just
would you
puts them on the bed.
be okay if we took these potions and put them in the bag of holding?
As long as we got stoppers on them and you don't have to worry about them spilling or anything.
None of these are open. They're all stoppered, right?
Yes.
They are.
We just pour them in there. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine if we mix these together.
Would you like me to test them first, or should we just wait until we have identification available?
I think it's better to test them a little later.
Okay.
Are there any clothes in that wardrobe when it was opened up? Are there outfits in there?
Yeah, there were all sorts of various different color robes for different kinds of occasions. So, different styles of robes, so more formal to more casual bits of clothing.
What's the condition they're in since they were in a closed wardrobe?
They're pretty good condition. You could easily take them and resell them pretty easily without any major concerns. You could definitely use them if that was something that you were looking for as additional clothes.
Do any of them have like a dark motif with like shiny, starry filigrants, or just kind of anything that would look like my style? Would I look good in any of these?
Potentially. There's not anything with any of like the shiny, starry patterns that you're talking about, but there are several colors that are more on the darker side of the color scheme. Um, and so you could definitely
Alon-
take one of the darker ones and alter it as you wish to get there.
Alondiel, would you be okay if we took these as well? And Ori, without even getting an answer, is just gonna like both arms in there, close his arms, and pull all of the robes out.
Do we detect any magic coming from those robes or anything that might be in those robes?
Are you casting Detect Magic?
I don't have that. Does someone? I only have Dispel.
I
I
can tomorrow.
I do. I didn't want to burn a spell slot for it, but I was thinking about ritual casting these when we're like sitting down and having a few minutes.
Okay.
I'm just thinking I don't want things to blow up in the bag of holding.
All right. So as you all have this discussion talking about what you want to do with the robes, you notice that Zerdig has vanished. The last that you saw Zerdig had looked at the mirror.
Did you just take your token? He like sprinted out the door on the map.
Yeah, it's because I can't really hide it from you guys otherwise.
Yeah, you just moved it somewhere else. This funny.
Yeah.
He like went. "Meow."
So
As he do we notice him disappear, or we just notice that he's gone?
you just notice that he's gone, and the last anybody saw him, he was over looking
Yeah.
at the mirror.
Hey, Elundiel, you looked at the mirror, right?
Yeah. I mean, it looked like a normal mirror. It felt a little weird for a bit, but I mean, this whole place is off-putting.
So I'm not the best at math, but we are missing our new friend.
Ore is just going to walk over to the mirror and start looking around, seeing if there's anything around the mirror that gets his attention.
Okay, so as you're around looking at the mirror here, obviously you can see your reflection. I need you to go ahead and make a charisma save.
I'm really good at those.
That'll be a 13.
That'd be a 5 for me.
Okay, so Sadzi and Ore, as you are investigating the mirror, everybody else, you see those two vanish. They disappear entirely. For Ore and Sadzi, what you see is just fog in every direction.
Okay.
Oh, this is interesting.
You cannot see each other. I should also point out that is all you see is the fog. You see it in every single direction. And Ore, with your vision you're used to be able to see so far, you can only see about 10 feet in total.
So
Okay.
I did say that out loud as Ore. Does anybody hear me?
No.
So we've established.
In turning around, I don't see like the other side of the mirror. It's just fog in every direction, no matter what.
Correct.
What if the rest of us go in the mirror and just end the campaign here? Where we're all forever trapped in this mirror.
I mean,
Ito.
there's Z2, and Z2 cannot be trapped in this
Z2 will
mirror.
save the children.
So Z2 will save you all. But yeah.
I
Ito
wouldn't say
is
that
going.
adventure.
Ito, we've previously established that he bought this shield partially because it was super polished to a mirror shine. He wants to see if it still has an effect if he looks at the mirror through another mirror.
The Medusa defense.
Yes.
So this time we watched them go in. I'm gonna run up and like call out their names. I'm like, hey, Ore.
Do I hear him?
You do not hear him.
I start slowly walking forward with my arms outstretched, trying to see if I connect with anything.
Okay.
And I don't hear anything where I am. It's just fog and quiet, right?
Correct. So you keep going, walking, and you never bump into anything. Fog continues to surround you in every direction that you go.
I use thaumaturgy and call out, "Can anybody hear me?" really loud.
Nope. Ito, so you look in your shield, which you have pointed at the mirror, right? That's what you said you wanted to do?
Yes, he's using the Medusa defense to view the mirror.
Okay, no, you can't.
That's the
Nothing
first one.
happens when you look at it. So,
Do I see myself?
no.
Or the double reflected version of me?
Like, it's very distorted. Like, your shield is near mirror finish, but it's not up your mirror to reflect well enough. And so,
Fair.
I want to walk around and look at the back of the mirror.
okay. It's just a standard backing of a mirror. It's obviously in like a wooden container to hold the mirror in place, the actual glass portion of it. But there is nothing unusual about this whatsoever.
I want to knock on the back of it and call out, Ore, Sadzi.
No response.
Well, I feel it prudent to mention that I have just determined looking at the mirror through a mirror, or near mirror, does not have the same effect, or at least I felt nothing. So, if we need to inspect the front of it, I have a shield that can kind of help, or if you have a better mirror, that would also work.
Make a history check to know if I know anything about people trapping mirrors historically in stories and what might have been done to overcome them.
Okay.
Legend says 9.
You've not really heard of anybody ever being trapped in a mirror in history. It's not something that comes up very often.
Seeing as Ito is very interested in stories and such, would he be able to make a check as well?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm over here like, I could lie to the mirror.
You do magic stuff, don't you? Do you have
That'll be an
I
11.
mean,
Arcana?
You wouldn't have heard
No.
any stories about people being trapped in mirrors with that. Again, in
my
your part of the world, with
yeah.
you being more of a traveling tribe, um, big standing mirrors like this weren't very common for your people at all.
I'm pretty sure that Mizeki doesn't actually have any real understanding of magic at all.
Hmm.
I have a
But you
+2
do have a
Arcana with my
connection to
training.
someone that does.
I was gonna ask the ring. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, your patron.
Yeah. I was actually gonna. That was my next idea. Was I can ask the. I was ask my patron. So, I guess I'll do that.
In the meantime, I'll get like a sheet off the bed and drape it over the mirror so
Okay.
we don't accidentally
Let me
deal with
find.
that more.
Let me find my notes. Valaris. So I'm gonna like inside my head. Either Valaris, any idea about mirrors that appear to eat people?
You get a laughing back, and he goes, "Yeah, smash it."
And smashing it won't murder me, right? Because if I'm dead, obviously I can't help you get out. Will it murder my friends?
Now,
Okay. It's Hey Ito, I'm gonna
Yes.
step out into the hall, but I think our best bet might be to try and smash it.
Okay.
I just don't want to if it like explodes or something.
Yes, that makes perfect sense. One moment. It seems I'm still under the effects of the
Oh, that's right, you're still hurt.
vampire magic, so I'm
Alondiel might be better
a
than
little worn out.
just
Well,
because he's
if
chunky.
if
You
I
guys are
can,
both pretty
I
chunky.
mean, I can push a mirror over. I'll push it over from the back.
okay.
Oop.
So it's really sturdy on the ground, with
Yeah, magic
how
items
it
are always.
is structured. So I'm gonna need you to make a strength check to do so, and I
Okay,
don't know that you are capable of pushing this over.
I'll try. I'll cast guidance on myself.
Okay.
So
Dear
that
God, help
is
me push this mirror.
it's a 14, and guidance is a D4.
Okay.
So
Oh yeah, get your D4 in there.
15 to push it over.
No. You rolled a
No,
14
14. I
minus
have a
2
-2. It's 12.
plus 1, so a
13.
13. So you push, leaning on it, trying as hard as you can, but it doesn't seem to want to give at all.
Nope, Ito, it's got to be you.
yes, yes, one
I'm
moment.
gonna toss my crowbar into the room for them. Just be like, hey, if you need this, here you go.
Ito will make a strength check as well.
You're just trying to push it over? Because, I mean, you've got a
Yep,
weapon. You can just swing at it.
But
fair. Actually,
shoving
yeah.
shoving is like your signature.
Yeah, but he can do that as a bonus action after he attacks it, right?
Ooh, good point.
I'm gonna attack with the shield as an improvised weapon,
Okay. Go
and
ahead.
then shove it.
Go ahead and make your attack roll.
That'll be a 23 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage. It's a D4 plus your strength. Bludgeoning damage for an improvised weapon.
8 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. It actually takes way more than that because, I mean, it is glass. So you smash it with your shield, and the mirror shatters into pieces. As it does, your 3 friends who were sucked into the mirror appear in spaces facing out away from you and away from the mirror. But in addition to the 2 of them, the 3 of them, 2 dwarfs also appear.
As they all appear, Ito is found. Basically, the instant he heard the glass start to break, he hunkered behind his shield in case it exploded, based on Mizeki's suggestion. So these people all appear and see a very large man hiding behind a comparatively small shield.
So
Did we come out with any force, or did just appear?
you just appeared there. So the 2 dwarfs, one of them is wearing very fancy clothes with a purple cloak that has a red crimson trim, with long blonde hair and a very well kept blonde beard. The other, there looks a bit tougher, a bit stronger, has a warrior's knot in the back of his head with his black hair pulled up, and has a great big old axe on the on his back. As they come out and they look around, they see Ito, identifying you obviously as human. The bigger, angrier one looks at you and he goes, "Where's Typhon?"
Dead. Dead. We killed him and all of his clones.
Pretty sure we got all his clones.
Assumed we don't actually
We
know
think.
how many
We
there
think.
were.
We are fair. We got at least 2 clones minimum.
And he hasn't come back and killed us, so we're pretty sure
Yes.
we got him.
So
Yes.
far.
And the murder child plant thing, which we think he merged with.
Hello, I am Ore, and you are?
The one with the fancier clothes, the blonde hair, answers first. He says his name is Dargram Wraithblade. At which point, you hear Zerdig kind of stifle a laugh.
Say his name again. Dargon. Faithblade?
Dargram Wraithblade.
I am 100% messaging Zerdig like, what's so funny?
Nice to meet you. And then I instantly look over at the other dwarf.
And Dargram continues and he goes, "And this is Krasdirk Bloodbringer, my guard." Mizeki, you use the message spell?
Yeah, so that they can't hear that I'm talking to him.
Okay. Zerdig responds back to you, going, "He's claiming to be a legend."
History check. Have I ever heard of this guy? 18.
He is not someone you would have heard of, being from your island,
Far
from
away.
Delistar. But as you ask further and pry in, Zerdig will respond that there is an old story told amongst the dwarfs in the Hand of the God Mountains to scare people from going outside, about the Lost King. Ages ago, before the folly, there was a great king amongst the dwarfs, who one day received an urgent notice and left with his guard outside of the realm of the mountains, further into the lands. No one ever knows what happened to him or his guard. He's now known as the Lost King, but it's just a legend, a story. No one believes he was real.
Hey, Dark.
Besides, he doesn't even look like the description from the legend.
What year is it, Dargrain?
It's the year 2853.
Of what age?
He just looks at you very puzzled.
You've just come out of a magical mirror, sir. We need to get a context for how long you may have been in there. What is the current age or epoch?
Again,
For us, the
he looks at
for us the
you.
current year is 601.
He goes, "That is impossible. It can't be earlier in history."
Well, you see, the date resets when a new age begins. We start back at the first year of that age.
This
What
is
is
the
the
age of
last major event you recall? Something that would be known around the world, perhaps. The age of Aquarius.
Is anybody trained in history?
Yes.
Ito.
Okay,
So
I've got a
Ito.
+5.
and Ito, with you being in a different part of the world, you can definitely make this check with advantage because you understand history a bit differently than everybody else.
Alright, I have a +5. Do you want me to roll as well?
Are you trained in it? So are you proficient in history?
I don't believe so.
Okay, then
I got a dirty
then
20.
no. Okay.
I got a 22.
Okay. So for all three of you that are trained and made your check, you know that. I guess Alondiel's re-rolling his check.
That's a 7.
Okay.
That's
So for Ore and Ito, you know that there is the ages where you do reset, and that's more of certain sectors of there. But there is an actual year that it currently that is kept track from the beginning. So like the first age started at year 1, and if you didn't reset for each age, you know what year it is, and it would currently be the year 5302. So
Oh, it's been a couple
5302.
weekends. These guys have been taking a very long nap.
And he said what year again?
2852.
53.
53, yes, sorry.
Yeah.
The 2 just came from there, yeah.
Without the age deviations, you have been in that mirror for approximately 3,000 years.
For those of you that know your history, you also know that that would be well before the Age of Folly.
Okay.
Well, close before the Age of Folly, but is
Not
before the
approximately
Age of
3,000.
Folly.
It's 2,449. Right.
So yes, it has been a very long. So take the
2,500.
year you were in and effectively double it.
They look around and he goes, "How bad is it?"
Well,
I wouldn't go around telling anybody you're king.
yeah, don't do that. I've learned that one actually. The people around here don't like kings to the point they have the whole festivals about how they killed all their kings a long time ago. So don't do that.
I believe the word bad is subjective.
Well, we are in a place made of dead children plants caused by Typhon, so bad may actually be apt.
From your perspective, how long were you in the mirror?
You lose track of time after a while. But
Did you feel the need to sleep or eat?
no. Look the
So-
same.
before we get into too much about the aspects of being in the mirror, why were you here in the secret lab where the children murder was occurring? Let's just clarify that first.
So, your friend there, and he'll point over to Zerdig, who recited the story, that's mostly true for what happened. I don't know where our lands are anymore for speaking, but this used to be part of my kingdom. I received notice about some disturbing things happening in my kingdom. First, a mysterious statue had appeared that was granting people unusual powers. But everybody seemed to be happy with it. It seemed to be good. A few weeks later, we started getting reports of missing children. I inquired of what had been happening and asked more about the statues that people had been seeing. Typhon thought I wouldn't understand and make the connection. His mother, holding him as a baby, he was using it as a way to funnel people to his lab for experimentation. Once I connected the dots, I made my way here to put an end to it. But he got the better of me. I guess I've been trapped for nearly 2,500 years, you say?
Yes, that sounds
Approximately.
about right.
What
What
damage did
was
he do while we were gone?
what
A lot.
was the environment of the area when you arrived?
Plainslands?
It has become much more wetland at this time. This area is known as Typhon's Folly.
Of course, he'd be immortalized.
It is a massive bog that is known for people to get lost and go missing in. That extends for miles.
You said his statues were how he was
Yeah.
acquiring the children?
Yeah, you said you've killed him. Did you destroy his statue as well?
We will shortly.
No, we probably should, apparently.
We have not gone up and killed a statue. Broke. That was going to be a plan on the way out, possibly.
But you've seen it. You know where it is.
It is on the roof,
Yes.
if I
Yeah, there.
remember right.
There's one outside up on the roof,
And
and
then one
the
nearby.
mom holding the baby in a village to the north of here.
It's like
That
2 days,
comes and
right?
goes. Couple days. We
Yeah.
made good time. I can keep us
Yeah,
above.
we can get there pretty fast.
We also have found some children, which we're going to try and return to their families as well, that are still alive.
That's good for you to do that. You said they killed all of the kings?
Mm,
Oh yeah, I'll go up.
That
Um,
we can't really talk about the external context of that right now, right? Just out of character, like we know that there are still dwarven kings, but we can't really talk about it or we'll be murdered.
we can, yeah, like the kings in the vast majority of the lands on this continent. I'm not
Yeah.
sure about the other. Um, were either deposed and agreed to step down, or killed by Leoric. That's not. Is that his name? I
Lyric.
always get it wrong.
Lyric
Lyric. I know I was
Kingslayer,
close. Lyric, the
who
Kingslayer.
we have a festival about.
So it wasn't
Your people.
Typhon that killed the kings.
Correct.
We don't actually
To
know
our
for sure.
knowledge,
To be fair, yeah, it's been a long time for us.
Yes. From what I understand, having not been present for this, as I was on another continent where none of these particular events happened, um, people really don't react well to just the word king anymore.
In your age, in your time, did your kingdom extend to the under the hand of the gods mountain?
Yes, we were the entirety of the Hand of the Gods mountains, and then all the way westward to the sea. We're in my kingdom now. Most recently, I had given part of my kingdom to a peculiar fellow who needed some safety from the rest of the world.
the Harringtons.
Yes, I believe that was his name was Harrington.
They're still kicking it.
That's good. Glad they found safety. So, if there are no more kings, who governs this land?
Can 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 we go back a little bit? Let's before we go into all of the complex socioeconomic things that might come from this. There are children that we have rescued from this area. We should probably finish here and get somewhere safe. And I mean
If you
alive children.
if you would care to travel with us, we could answer your questions along the way, as best as we can.
I would highly recommend this plan, as if you go out there without really knowing much of anything, you will get a lot of strange looks and perhaps some not so friendly people.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: the children are from Blue Lake. I'll start walking back to the room where we left them, and just talk and assume people will follow me as we go because it sounds like Mazeki's going that way too.
Mhm.
So I'll start just walking and talking, and
So there is still the one room left that you guys haven't explored, and you do also
okay.
have the plants that you need to hunt down and decide what you wanted to do with based on the notes. So before you all leave, I want to make sure you're not forgetting
Mhm.
about that given these
Well, that's right.
things.
That was that creepy solid gold door. That's
Yeah.
definitely something.
Yeah,
I
we
want to.
should
We'll
check
go
that
check
out.
on the children and then make sure they're okay.
Okay.
Probably put them in the antechamber with like the music instruments, so they're a little closer now that we know the place is mostly cleared. Um,
Right. So when you go to check on them, they are playing games with Z2.
okay,
As you do, of
I guess
course.
I'll leave them there and just say, hey, just checking in. Things are going well. Um, we'll be back in a bit. Do you guys need any water or anything?
Um, I'm going to assume that Zerdig gave Z2 rations to provide for the children.
That seems like
So
a safe bet we would have done.
Okay.
yeah.
We are terrible daycare.
I
I'm
gave
I'm
them food and water before. It's just been
yeah,
a while and we've been
yeah, you gave them a
distracted.
few things, and with them being malnourished, I'm sure they've gone through that as
Yeah.
fast as possible.
We
Yeah.
sent the bird
Yeah,
over
but you
to take care of them.
don't want them to go through it too fast, or else then you get the refeeding problems.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Check out the golden door.
All right. And the two dwarfs will stay
Now,
back and hang with the children while you come to investigate the rest of the area. So
okay, that was going to be my question.
yeah, they are far more capable than Z2 by himself in protecting.
Mm-hmm.
So Z2 can do a lot, but Z2, you know.
Because I should have done that before. A 27 insight check to like looking at that guy if he seems to be certain of himself.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So he seems extremely certain of himself. Zerdig's still kind of questioning it because based on the legend,
It's
this
way too old.
It's way too old. He doesn't have the right hair color anymore. He's short for what he was described as, but you know how legends go. They get exaggerated over time, and so it's definitely possible that all of these pieces that aren't matching with Zerdig's story and what he knows of the Lost King.
You mean 2,000 years of telephone?
Yup. Okay.
Yeah, because that never distorts anything.
Okay.
And
Okay,
we've had zero problems with dwarves like telling us things that weren't true.
yeah, clearly. So I forget if we've tried to deal with this door already.
The first
The
one,
golden
yes.
one?
It gas blasted, but we haven't opened the golden one. We saw the golden one. The first one that you're in front of was trapped. We triggered it and saw the gold door.
Yeah, and we haven't gone to mess with the gold door yet.
Correct.
Okay, so seeing as there was a trap, let's let Nizeki do the thing with the magic hand, and we'll all stay back here.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I have to find out if there are traps on the other one first.
The outer door has already been
Just let him
opened.
touch it. Yeah, and we've already. I meant the inner door, the golden one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mage Hand cannot open that golden door.
That's what I figured.
It is
My
not
main goal
capable
is
of doing
to
so.
look at and see if it has any obvious traps on it.
Yeah.
It does
And-
not
and
appear
then-
to be trapped. It does appear to have a complex locking system.
I will put my hand on your
does
shoulder and give you guidance.
Can I make a religion check? Does it have any like iconography on it that stands out to me?
There's
Are there
no obvious iconography on it at all.
Okay.
By complex, do you mean like multiple keys are involved? There's a series of levers nearby with a parable. What level of complex are we talking about?
So there are multiple keyholes, there are levers, and there is like a wheel as well that involves being turned. This is essentially a
It might
very
be a
complex
boat.
safe door.
Okay. Is it actually made of gold?
It is at least gold plated.
Yeah. Can you heat metal a door? Or is that only creatures?
You can heat
Uh,
any metal.
I could, yes.
That'd be
I could tomorrow.
Yeah. Manufactured metal
I
object. That's
mean,
funny. You
Or
could
what
make
if I
a door.
what if
I'm
I
not
just
gonna do
like
that.
fireball it for
That
ever?
doesn't usually work. Yeah. You mean firebolt, because you only fireball so many times.
Yes, you're correct.
I'm gonna try and see, I guess, if I can pick it.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that with the
I tapped you on the shoulder and gave you guidance for this.
thieves dex.
So this is going to be a series of checks.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and start with. First off, give me an intelligence check. Investigation
Okay.
if you have it. If not, just general intelligence.
I do have investigation.
Okay.
Oh my
Can I
god.
assist?
Yeah. I got a 1, so
you
I'd
were
love
given
if someone could
guidance.
help.
So
Can Elondiel assist me while looking at this?
What type of check is it that you're making?
investigation, but only if you're trained. Otherwise, it's just basic.
Is anyone else trained in investigation?
Zerdig
Yeah.
is.
All right. I'll get Zerdig to help me.
Okay.
So that's still I rolled 2 1s, so that's where we're at right now.
Right. And Zerdig is also proficient with these tools and things.
Yeah, and so he'll try. Yeah.
Yeah. So Zerdig gets
Good.
up there, starts investigating things.
He rolls a 19.
Yeah, rolled a natural 19 plus his 7 for a total of 26.
Yeah.
Begins looking at all of the pieces, and after a moment goes, I get it. And then
Misaki's gonna hand by all means, please.
Okay, and then let's see. You are probably still better at picking because
I don't think I took the.
you've got the better decks, and you're proficient with them by
expertise
default
in it.
as a rogue.
Yeah. What level artificer is he though?
5.
I think the expertise is level 6, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah, he gets expertise in all his tools.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do not currently have expertise in it, so it's just my +6.
Yeah. Well, so you beat him by
+3.
+1 then. So,
Okay.
do you want to do it with your +6? And he'll just kind of point out the order that you need to go in.
Sure.
Okay.
Does that give me advantage or?
Yeah, we'll say he's assisting you with it, but his
Okay.
investigation was enough to figure out
Yeah, how it works.
and
or
what
at
you need to
least
do.
how he thinks it works. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. I got a nat 20, 29.
Okay.
I could have gotten a 30 if I'd rolled a 4 on the 1d4, but
Yeah. So you get in there with your thief's tools on that first lock, and you manage to get it. And then Zerdig takes the wheel, turns it a quarter turn, and then pulls one of the levers, and then indicates for you to go for the next keyhole.
I'll give you guidance again.
okay. So do I just keep doing the same thing?
Yep. So just another thieves tools check.
B1b4 Dex 23.
Okay. Again, you get your thieves
Zerdig
tools
is really
in
helping.
there. You hear the clicking going through. Everything goes. As soon as that happens, Zerdig slams the first lever back up, pulls down a second lever, and then gives the wheel an 8th turn counterclockwise, so the opposite direction that he had turned it before, and then indicates for you to start picking the lock on the third key.
We are basically driving a submarine at 28.
Mhm.
Guidance
Yep.
again.
And yeah, that's another nat 20 for you. You're in there, you get it, you
Yeah.
click it, and then Zerdig pulls on the next lever, and the first lever again pulls them both down, and then turns the wheel a full turn. And as that happens, the door begins to push open into a room where you can see, again, plants have overgrown, but you can
I'm
see
gonna
that there is
immediately step
artwork on
back.
the wall. And there is a chest, as well as bits and pieces all over the ground, coins all scattered about. And that there is a back wall with vines growing on it.
Is that a sarcophagi? What's the thing in the corner there? The gold.
You're
behind the
going to
tree.
need to get closer to see that.
Okay.
Specifically what it
I-
is,
I
especially
jump
with the
back.
plants growing there.
Yeah, as soon as the door starts to open, Mizeki gets out of the way because
Mhm.
if there's bad things on the other side, he is frail.
Right.
Yeah, Ito pretty much immediately gets in front with his shield.
Okay.
Ore steps in and does just a quick sweep looking for any hostiles.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
That is a 23.
Okay. So looking around, there aren't any hostiles in here. You don't notice any sign of movements there. But one thing you do spot almost immediately is that back wall is fake.
You said there's gold coins on the floor?
There are coins scattered all about the floor, yes.
I'll pick up a couple.
I do not believe that last wall is entirely real.
I'll throw one of the coins I picked up at it.
Okay. The coin passes right through.
Yep, it's not. At least right there.
Now that you have detected that it's an illusion, you can see further beyond. Ori, you're walking past a big old giant chest as you get there, and as you get up next to there, the question that Mizeki asked from seeing the top-down view, that is the skeleton of a four-legged animal of some kind. It seems to be feline, just from examining the head. But other than that, you're not entirely sure.
And it's dead. It's just an actual skeleton.
It's like an art
not...
piece, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just keep picking up coins off the floor, I guess, and plopping them into the bag.
Okay.
And I'll leave
I'm
the
gonna-
rest to Mizeki.
So
I'm going to very cautiously push through the illusionary wall.
Okay. Yeah. No, you pass through. There are way more coins through on this other side. In addition, there is a lot more art pieces and gems scattered about. And further in the back of the room, there is a statue on a pedestal. And it is holding a staff that is made out of knotted willow wood, from what you can see. And there's all sorts of various bits and pieces scattered about. This entire room just kind of seems to be a treasury.
Does that staff look like something that would get my attention pretty quick?
I mean, it caught your attention.
Cool. I'm going to go investigate the statue and the staff. See if I can discern more details about it.
Okay. So, it's a pretty good staff, decent size, really good quality. Um, doesn't seem to have been affected by any of the overgrowth of the plants in here.
Any?
Can
any-
I go check
Go
it
ahead,
out with
Saji.
Ore?
Yeah.
The staff.
Yep. And does anybody have detect magic or identify or anything that they're wanting to do?
At this time, I will burn one of my last spell slots for detect magic. Actually, without feeling like there's a threat, I could sit down and do it ritually, right?
Ritual cast. Yeah, we'll watch your back.
Yeah.
You're fine.
So yeah, I'm going to sit down in a little lotus position, and I'm going to start ritual casting detect magic.
Okay. Yeah. So you go ahead and cast detect magic. While that's going on, is anybody else doing anything? There are two chests in this front room. One is almost entirely covered by the plants. The other is quite large and so isn't fully obstructed by the plants that are overgrown.
I'll let Mazeki open them from a distance.
So starting with the chest in the front, I guess.
I guess while he's doing that, I'll cut off. I'll use my sword to chop out stuff so we can actually access the other chest.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough for you to do. Just takes a bit of time. So, Mizeki, I'm guessing you use your mage hand to open the chest.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. It
First
opens. They are
one is a
not locked.
14. Okay, cool.
So
Even
just
better.
swings open. It takes a lot of work to get past that door, so he didn't bother
Yeah,
locking
so
anything past it.
that's
So.
fair. Like this is like in your gun safe. You don't have another safe.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So you open up that larger chest, Mizeki, and it is full of way more coins and gems in there. There are also a few pieces of artwork in here, and some
Awesome.
scrolls and a couple potions. And in the smaller chest that you hacked up free, Alondia, then when Mizeki opens it, you see a few more coins and pieces of art and gems and things in here.
But scrolls and potions.
Shove all the
So
coins.
set those aside,
Dump all
right?
the coins in.
Yep. Okay. So, Ore, it's been enough time with all the hacking and things that your detect magic would come online. So, looking around the back room, since you're already back here, there are a few items that catch your eye that are giving off magic. The biggest one that is obviously noticeable is the staff itself is magical.
Okay. What kind of magic?
Let me go grab that. I forgot that that's what it does, that spell. I want to say it's transmutation.
Transmutation. Okay, cool. While I'm looking around, we'll go to the items in just a moment. That statue specifically, does it look like the Typhon, or does it look like a whole other individual?
It does look like Typhon.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Got it. And there's no other adornments, just the staff that the statue is holding.
Yeah, so the statue is only holding a staff. Looking around on the ground on the pedestal that is there, you do notice with your magic your detect magic that there are a couple other things. So there is a shield that you notice has some magic. It's giving off enchantment. And there is a pearl um, that is giving off magic as well.
And what is the school of on the pearl?
I am looking that up. Um, let's see here. I gotta look at my schools of magic for this. Um, Again, probably transmutation here is what fits best. So
That works. And was there another item you said, or just those 3 items that were given off aura?
there are. So those are the large ones that you notice. There's also a pair of slippers that are giving off magic.
As I start noticing what is enchanted, I will start pointing it out to the group, like these items have an enchantment, these items have an enchantment, and so forth. And look over to Elondiel. Did you want to acquire these coins as well? And I'll pick up just a big handful of coins
Yeah,
and put them
we'll
in my bag.
bag all that we can.
Right. Yeah. So the slippers are also giving off transmutation magic here. In addition, looking around this room, there is a potion that is giving off magic. It is giving off. Let's see here.
When you got a second, the scrolls in the first chest, the bigger one. I guess I'm wondering if any of those would be useful for us.
Right. Okay. Yeah, and the potion that you notice back here is also transmutation magic. So these scrolls that you look at, let's see, which of these are on your spell list? I think they might all be on the sorcerer spell list, but let me just double check. Because if they're on your spell list, you
Woohoo!
just instantly are able to read them. So let me look at your spell list, sorcerer. So yeah, there are 3 scrolls in total that you come across in those chests. D&D Beyond's going really slow for me. Nope, that one's not on your spell list. It is on Zerdig's spell list. So he will see that there's a scroll of identify. That's not on the sorcerer spell list, but it is on his artificer one.
Okay.
One of the scrolls is a scroll of distort value. You do recognize that. And the last spell, let's see whose spell list is on. This is also on the sorcerer spell list. It's comprehend language.
Oh, goody.
After that, the skeleton of the cat isn't giving off any kind of magic aura, right?
Correct. The only other things that are giving off magic back in the previous room are obviously the scrolls and the potions, which there were 3 potions in the other room that are giving off magic.
Does the skeleton have like a collar on it by chance?
It does not.
And it's on a pedestal or something?
Um, it's got like a support structure that's helping hold everything together.
Got ya. It doesn't have any like a plaque or anything, any notation for what it is, or like a name for it or anything.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
So, Alandiel, you've been collecting coins, right, and putting them away. So, in the first room, you collect in total 700 copper pieces, 7,000 silver pieces, 1,700 gold pieces, and 70 platinum pieces. And I'm just now realizing that all rolled sevens when I rolled that out, and that's kind of hilarious.
Hey, it's a lucky number.
Apparently.
Lucky for him.
In addition to those coins, you find 21 gems in here, which, based on your experience and things, you estimate that their worth is about 50 gold. 5 of them are diamonds. The rest, I don't think, are spell components, but there are jasper, quartz, obsidian, zircon, and zircon that you find amongst them in varying different colors.
Okay.
There are lots of art objects, which I will send you separately. Everything that you find there. Whether you
I
want to
was going to
take any
ask
of
about
those
the
or
art.
not will be up to you.
We got room after we get everything else.
So in the second room, the coins that you collect, there are 800 copper pieces, 11,000 silver pieces, 2,300 gold pieces, and 150 platinum pieces.
Oh man.
Since I grabbed a handful of that up and just stuffed it into my bag, about how much did I get?
Oh, we'll divvy this up.
That's sure. That's fine. That's fine.
This
I was
does
just
not all
I was
need
just
to go
wondering, like,
into
if I
party
just grabbed
bank.
a quick handful, like roughly what would I have acquired? That's fine. Of the art pieces, is it mainly painted art, or is there like statues as well?
So there are like carved sculptures and things like that. There's obviously the skeleton of the creature as well. Um, there are lots of paintings and drawings and sketches and things like that involved. So lots of things that Alondiel would love. Um, so, but before we get back to that, let me do this. There are 10 more gems that you collect, not including the pearl that Ore identified as magical. In the second room, you identify these being worth probably 100 gold piece each. 3 of them are diamonds. And then there's citrine in a few different colors, rubies and emeralds, and azurite.
Okay, nice. That's some extra revivifies.
Yep. Okay, so let me throw in these art objects to you guys real quick, and you can decide if there's any of these that you want to take. So let's throw this in this channel. And then throw some more in that channel.
Hey.
That's a fun list.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's quite a lot of things. I like
Indeed.
the small carving of a cougar near a bridge.
As we're kind of going through all of this, Ori is going to kind of say aloud, "Is it common for you folks to hoard like this? This seems like an unnecessary collection of items."
It is a rather large collection.
His
And then, Ore, one last thing that you find when you're over there on the pedestal investigating everything is a 6
Yes.
inch onyx cube.
hey,
Does it look
how does
very
that look like?
similar?
Yeah.
Yeah, is how comparable is it to the one that we already have?
It looks really similar.
Alondio, Alondio, um,
Yep.
I don't even touch it. I kind of point to it and I kind of gesture. There's another cube here.
Ooh, I run right up.
No, the last one was a cuboid.
Mm-hmm.
Understood. How you said this 6 inch straight cube.
Yep,
The other one was
this one was a
like
cube.
a
Yeah, so
six
the other
inch
one is
by
6 inch by 6
foot
inch by 12 inch, so it's
by
not a
12 inch. Right.
cube.
Gotcha.
But this one is a cube, so 6 inch by 6 inch by 6 inch. So
We should save this to go over when we have a time to
Oh,
investigate
definitely.
all of these items that we have. Please put this in the bag. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'll take it and very carefully put it in.
Is there a way that we could also take? I guess there's not necessarily enough room in the bag for all of these items. There are some pretty nice pieces of art in here by my depiction, and I'm interested in some of these statues. Would we have any efficient way to be able to transport these if we cannot fit them all in that bag?
I mean, we could probably take the guy's like bedding and make bags. You'd have to convince Mizeki to carry it though, which might be hard. Or yourself. I can't really carry anything
yeah, and
beyond what I've already got.
Zerdig, if you're watching the stream right now, do you have a bag of holding that you can make? Is that one of the infusions you took?
I think he can change out infusions daily, though, right? Or does he have to only be one that he takes at leveling?
He can only swap to the ones he has that he knows currently.
Yeah.
He can
Gotcha.
change
Okay.
the ones he knows on level up, but once he knows it, he can swap it per day.
Yeah, and I don't know
Yeah, I
what
wasn't.
he took.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was something that also got swapped out, like some spells get swapped daily.
Yeah.
And for reference, in terms of carrying capacity, I don't know how we want to treat normal bags, but Ito can carry a lot of coins.
Yeah. Right.
If I were to make a nature check, could I figure out more details on this skeletal cat?
You could try for sure and see if
Dude, where its skull is a
you know
helmet.
about it.
Hoping for a good roll. 21.
You're fairly certain that this is a cougar.
Cool. Cougar. But no like specialty to it. It's just a straight cougar.
Right. So whether you want it to be the headcanon that this is the cougar in the painting, that's up to you. But, you know.
How large is the skull? Would it be enough to make a helmet out of?
It'd be close. It wouldn't be easily turned into one.
Okay.
But
I'll leave it for now unless we decide to if we have a better way to transport more stuff.
so yes. So you noted down what items were magical, and then there are 4 potions in total. So you have things that need to be identified. And you do have a scroll of identify that Zerdig did just pick up. So
Yeah, I figure when we have a chance to sit down and do a rest, I'm sure Zerdig can do. Zerdig has identify, right?
I don't think so. Um,
He can prepare it, but
yeah,
we also need a 100 gold pearl.
yeah, a pearl worth 100 gold.
which you would think a wizard of this caliber would have, but
I did find a pearl that has an enchantment on it already. It may have greater value than 100. I'm not sure if this could be used as a spell component as well as
Oh,
whatever its other intention is.
oh, if you're pulling magic off it with your detect thing, I wouldn't use it as a component. That's definitely already got something going on that's probably more useful.
Understood.
out of character, the pearl is not consumed for the identify. You just have to have it.
That's what I was
So I
thinking.
believe you can just repeatedly use it.
Correct. You just need a pearl that's worth 100 gold.
Would a
So,
pearl with an already existing enchantment on it work in that case?
um, if the pearl was worth 100 gold before it was enchanted, maybe. But if it wasn't before it was enchanted, then no.
Gotcha. Were there any rooms left that we didn't investigate at this point?
No, this was the last room.
Perhaps we should move the children into this room and perhaps we could all have a rest before we venture out. If there's anything else that we have forgotten to do.
There's a handful of those plant soul children running around, like 3, I believe.
I'm available to help chase them down if anyone would like to help join me on that.
But it was midday. It wasn't quite night, but
It
when
was
we
it
got
was
here,
like
right?
it was like early evening, if I remember right, when we got here.
Yeah. Because you guys got here earlier than I anticipated because of Water Walk.
So about what time is it now?
Um, I mean, really, you spent like 30 minutes in total in this place, so not much has passed. So, because you did pretty much quick investigations and fights and things, and then the longest amount of time you spent is in this treasure room. So,
Cool.
Okay. I'm good to go up. Yeah, we don't want it. Well, the mirror's broken. I'm trying to figure out where the best place. Yeah, because leaving in the swamp tonight's not a good idea. I definitely agree with you. This is with that door, a highly defendable position. Um, or do we want to see if we can't figure out well, the if the magic in that first room, like the fire, blood stuff, or do we just want to
I
hunker down here and then head off to Blue Lake with the kids in the morning?
I think the sooner we can get the kids away from that room, the better it is for their mental well-being. And this room does seem defensible, with it being a singular entry into this section, this wing. Perhaps the children can take the bed for the evening to regain their strength.
That all makes sense to me. No objections.
And I'm happy to help with the plant monster children things.
Okay, it's
yeah. So it's easy enough for Sadzi and Ore, since you have the magic needed and can deal the right damage type to prevent them from regenerating. Since you know where they went, it's easy enough for you to go and kill them if that's what you
we
want to
did
do.
barricade them in
Yep.
too.
Yeah, you did
Well,
barricade them
attempted
in
to,
and trap them, so
so-
you know right where they are. And so you can go just destroy them or whatever else you want to do. So,
Yeah, certainly take them out.
okay, yeah, if you just want to kill them, then cool, they're dead. Easy enough, no need to fight. They're scared of you and pretty much defenseless at this point.
Hopefully that will put their souls to rest.
Yep, nice quick death.
Okay. So your plan is to go get the children and then barricade yourselves in these 3 rooms so that they can sleep in the bed. So you have the main kind of library area and then the treasure room and the bedroom.
Correct.
Okay.
And in that room where the children were housed with was it braziers that had the drains, the blood drains?
Oh, well, there was a giant brazier in the center of the room.
And then like the sample things flying from like the
Yeah, just
murder table
bowls.
to it.
Yeah.
Is there an apparatus in that room that makes sense that is teleporting the children here?
Nope, nothing that you can see obvious in there.
So nothing we'd really be able to break or destroy to prevent this from happening again in this location down
The
here,
statue,
as opposed to the statue on the roof, but nothing in the.
And potentially the statue. We should probably break the one that was holding the staff, because you said
Yeah,
that was a Typhon statue too.
that's a good idea. I would break that thing to the ground into pieces. What was it made out of?
The statue was made out of
Yes.
stone.
Yeah, I would knock it over and start breaking it to pieces at some point.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough to do. Okay. So is there anything else that you're wanting to do? Or are you ready to take your long rests?
I would, since we still have a little bit of time, and now that we've kind of dealt with all of the threats, I'd spend a little bit of time, an hour or two, kind of going back through each of the rooms, giving a little bit of a closer investigation, looking for any other books, scrolls, anything of significance that jumps out at me. I'm sure we've kind of covered that all, but if there's anything else that we missed.
Yeah, nothing else is jumping out at you that's still in condition enough to be readable and legible. So
I'd also look for any other secret doors that we hadn't found at this time, at this point.
Yeah, and maybe take Alondiel with you, so he can maybe do a quick sketch of some of the key rooms, especially the one with the cages where we found the kids, if you didn't already.
okay.
I did not, but I will.
Right. And then before you take your long rest, because you know you have the 3 of you are still affected by the fog from Harrington, and there are still spell slots from the healers. I imagine you would take time healing since you know you don't recover full hit points when you long rest. And since I'm
That was
controlling Zerdig, I'll probably roll those out for his healing.
that's why I was trying to hold on to the last 2 spell slots so I could give myself some healing before resting.
Also, I need to figure out. I'm going to send a message to the other people about what we found out here.
Right.
So I'll come up with that before your rest too.
Mizeki and Ito, how severely are you down on hit points since both of you only heal at half the rate right now?
I am.
Ito will heal to full.
Okay, Ito will heal to full.
I've got 4 level 1 slots left still, so I can.
And Zerdik has
cure wounds on you.
2 level 2 and 3 level 1s. So
I'm out of level 2s. Used those, but
I'll burn my 2 spell slots on myself if that's the case.
yeah. So if you get over half of your hit points, you'll be fine. Went to long rest, you'll go to full.
Gotcha.
But if you're below that, then we need to spend some healing. So Mizeki, do you need healing, or are you at half?
I'm currently at 11 out of 30.
Okay.
But
So
I can also spend some hit dice.
Another.
Well, you can have 14, which would give you 7 from
So 7.
And then I cast
four,
a 7, which is what, 3? Because he
Yeah.
gets half.
Yep. So you
So
get
now I'm
7
at
hit points from
21,
Zerdig. Yeah, and so
and
as
then
long
I
as
can
you're over
roll.
half, if you're
Yeah.
over half, your long rest will
I'm
give
only
you.
9 short. Yeah.
So
So I'll be fine.
okay.
So
What
I'm at 23 out of 48 max HP at the moment.
So
If I rest, will I get back to full?
no, you'll
You'll
get
be 1
back
short.
half, so you'll be 1 hit
Okay,
point
I
short.
get you. I get you. I see what you're saying. Gotcha.
Yeah.
If you needed more healing, I got another slot I can.
Well, if
Yeah.
I would heal back everything but 1 point, then I just give myself 1 healing to bring it back.
Well, I mean,
Yes.
I've got slots open. I can do it before we rest, so you start off.
I
not
have
having to
I
burn
have
one.
2 slots left. I can
Okay,
I
you're
can
good
give
too.
myself at
Okay.
least 1. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And using the magic item identification, there's a thing where you can try to attune to a magic item during a rest.
Correct.
Ito's going to check out what that shield does.
Okay. The shield does not require any attunement, so you don't gain any knowledge from it.
Okay.
I mean, you want me to throw something at you? You want me to swing at you while you're holding it?
I suppose we could try that.
Oh wait, no, you still have the bad healing though. But I've got a slot.
And so does Zerdig. Zerdig's
I mean,
got
we can do.
slots.
Oh, but that would only
Yeah.
deter. Yeah. I don't know. I actually, if something ricochets back at me, we can probably poke around a little later.
Okay.
With that, I would also kind of inspect that staff and just kind of see if I can discern more information from it. And I guess while doing that, if I attune to it, I would understand.
Yeah. You are not able to attune to the staff.
Am I able to attune to the staff?
You're gonna have to wait for another rest at this point to try
Versus.
to attune to the staff. I mean, we do have a scroll of identify if we want to just identify it before the rest. Zerdig can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with doing that. But that would work on. Does it just work on one item, or does it just turn on identify for like a period of time, and he can do more than one item?
It just works on one item.
One item. Got it.
So you
I'm
can
fine
determine
waiting.
what item. You've got potions and then the 4 magic items you noticed.
Zerdig, I would suggest you do it on this pearl if you were looking to use it. The spell.
So you want him to identify the
I'm just throwing it
pearl?
out there that if he was looking to use it, I think the pearl might be the most impressive thing for him to do identify on to see what it does. I could be wrong. I just think that would be something beneficial. But if he doesn't want to use that scroll and we can wait a day, I'm fine waiting.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be a question for Zerdig, who is not here.
I'm fine waiting on that.
I'm looking. It doesn't look like Zerdig has a pearl worth 100, so even preparing identify wouldn't help. So the scroll is the single use that you've got, unless anybody else has a pearl worth 100 or
I've
the
got
identify spell.
gems. I don't know if any of them are pearls.
There weren't any in the set of
I don't think I've
items that
found
you got today.
pearls in anything yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
25 words. Okay.
Well, if he's able to identify it and determine that it's worth over 100 gold prior to its enchantment, then it would count as his component, right?
I mean, there's the chance, like I said.
Right. That's kind of why I was thinking this would be probably the main item to burn the scroll on, to at least open
Right.
up the potential for identify later on.
Right. So, but yeah. Okay. So based on that, it sounds like we'll wait on the identify. Everyone can take their long rest to recover hit points and spell slots and whatnot.
Okay, and here's my sending. I got my 25 words worked out.
Okay.
That I'll send to them.
Who is them?
The other cleric
Okay.
from the council party.
From the
Found
other
Typhon.
party.
Yep.
Okay.
Who we left in Hamlet. Found Typhon's lab, was still active, destroyed Typhon's clones, killed Corpse Plant, found 3 children imprisoned, returning them to Blue Lake tomorrow. How is Hamlet?
You already know
Or
that
that
they
is
had left Hamlet the day before
okay.
because you had messaged them.
Oh, that's right.
Because they were returning a letter from the mayor there to the
Okay.
council.
How are you? What you find?
Okay. So you get a reply back from Granite, and he goes, "We'll report to council what you found. That's disturbing that it's still active."
Okay.
All right. And was there anything else that you wanted to do or send for the night?
That's all my 3rd level slots, so
Okay. So the morning comes, you've had your long rest. The children slept well, being watched over by Z2, and the dwarfs seem to have slept okay. Um, you take your leave, up back into the crypt, out into the cemetery, and the world is yours.
I guess I'll point out once we get out the statue of Typhon that we saw on top of the crypt as we walk out of it. Like that, the statue we're talking about breaking.
No, the one of his mother holding the baby.
Ah,
Him
okay.
as a baby. It was the one that was showing up, and people were getting powers from it.
I saw when that statue's eyes would grow greens, and I had a bit. I still think we should probably break this one too.
I concur. And then I will. I don't know if this will work, but I'm going to turn around and hit it with a guiding bolt.
Guiding bolt isn't going to do anything to it.
Cool.
So
I bet Ito could break it.
does Ito have something big and blunt to keep hitting it with until it breaks?
Or I mean, we could tie a rope and pull it down, maybe.
Yeah, Ito unfortunately does not have particularly stone destructive weaponry. He has primarily spears and axes.
Yeah, and Zerdik has a big old great sword. Yeah.
Would Thunderwave do some damage to it?
We got rope. I imagine we could tie rope to it and then everybody in a line pull.
Well,
Like a terrible plan.
I have dispel magic, so we could try that if there's something like keeping it there or together, like any sort of protection. We could try to make sure that's not active. Just a thought.
I could turn into a draft horse or some other large animal that might help pull it down.
So what's the plan?
Sounds like we don't have anything to smash it, so I think pulling it down is probably
I
the
think
easiest way
pulling it
to
down is probably the best one too.
Okay,
break
so
it.
Tying the
who
ropes to it.
who's climbing up to tie rope to it?
I'll volunteer.
Ito probably has the best path.
Okay. So Ito and
Yes,
Ore.
+8.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So Ito, Ori, go ahead and give me an athletics checks to climb up onto the roof.
I'm going to give myself guidance before I try this.
I'll give Ito
30,
guidance
20.
so that you'll both have them.
Okay. Yeah. Ito, it's super easy for you. Plenty of experience climbing. You're able to get up there.
22 with the guidance, because why not?
Right.
17 with guidance.
Okay. You struggle a bit, Ore, because the vines and things that you're pulling on just rip right off. But after a bit, you manage to get up there and climb up onto that where the statue is there, large, covered in vines.
How tall is this thing again?
From here, now that you're up here, it's about 20 feet tall.
And that's from the roof of the lab.
Yeah. So from the roof, it's
Gotcha.
20 feet higher than that. Yeah, it's large. But yeah, so and it's definitely very firm on this roof. So each of you can tie rope to one of its legs, since that's pretty much all you can reach.
Yeah, easy enough to do. While Ore's tying the rope, you hear him kind of mutter to himself, "The rabbit goes around the tree and down into the hole."
Okay. And go ahead and just give me a d20 roll, each of you, for how well that's tied.
No, I'm not helping. Never mind.
On D&D Beyond.
19.
Okay.
16.
Okay. Yeah, so you both tie those really well. You get the ropes, throw them down to the ground where everybody is, and
While I'm up here, could I try to use the crowbar to loosen it at all?
to loosen the statue.
Yes.
Okay. There's not an obvious point where it can be pried off, but you can definitely start bashing at stone with it.
Cool. And the fun part is crowbars give advantage on that. Or would that apply if I'm not prying per se?
It wouldn't apply if you're not prying. That's the whole point. Is
Okay.
they're used to
Yeah.
pry
Yeah.
things
I
open.
figured. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just straight athletics, or
I mean, basically, it's an attack roll with an improvised weapon that you're doing.
fair?
So
That'll be a 24.
yeah, I mean, you make contact with the stone pretty well. A d4 plus strength damage.
5 bludgeoning.
Doesn't seem to even really chip at it at all. Okay. So you have 2 ropes, one tied to each leg that's been thrown down.
Excuse me, Your Majesty, would you have any insight in the best way to tear this statue down? Looks like it's made of stone.
Something big and blunt, repeatedly hitting it.
What are the weapons they're carrying?
He's not carrying one, and his companion is carrying a big old great axe.
Thank you. That's very constructive.
So, Zerdig does have hammers and pittons. So, in theory, you could start using that to make cracks and things.
That would make it easier to pull down, weaken the legs first.
Yeah,
My tinkerer's tools would add nothing to doing anything to the statue, right?
correct. Does anybody else have anything like that? Stuff used for rock climbing and punching holes into stone, essentially? Because punching a bunch of
also-
holes
I
and
might.
weakening it is good.
I also have a set of hammer pittons,
Okay.
and yeah, nothing else crazy.
Okay.
Nothing, but we could always throw some water on it, and then I could put a bonfire under it.
So, all right. So Zerdig will toss up the hammer and pittance to Ito, and Mizeki, you said you have a set as well.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So you can go ahead and hammer those. That would give you 10, so 20 total from the two sets to put into this thing. That gives you some
Nice. We
kind
will
of
do that.
work on it. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Yeah, no, it doesn't look like there's anything else useful from Zerdig's equipment. So
And you said thunder damage wouldn't do much to it, right?
you'd have to try and see, but it's still
Once everybody else is clear, kind of walking away as we're going to get down to the ropes, I'll be the last one on the roof, and I'll hit it with Thunder Wave once just to see if anything happened.
Mhm.
It has to make a con save of 17.
Okay. Uh, what does Thunderwave say it does to objects?
1 moment.
I think Thunderwave only affects creatures.
I think it does too. Oh yeah, you're right.
Each
Creatures and
Shatter.
untethered
Shatter would have been good.
objects. Yeah, shatter is what
Yeah.
you want.
Shatter would have been. That's what I should have had.
Right. Okay.
It's first thing in the morning. Can I change up spells? Maybe I have Shatter.
So
Let me just check my spell list really quick. Would it be okay if I did switch over to that really quick?
yeah, it would be
Would you
too
give that
late
to
by
me?
this point in the day.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, so Ito, um, give me an intelligence check first, as far as trying to decide where to place each of the different pittons, and then give me
20.
okay, and then just give me a D100 roll.
$49.
Okay, yeah, so you get them spaced out pretty well to where you can start to see cracks beginning to form in between them, where it's definitely weakening the legs, and so you're pretty sure it's going to be a lot easier to break this now. Again, it would be easier if you had something big and blunt to continue hitting it with, but pulling on this might just have a chance now. So what is the plan?
There is
Shields
no
are big
plan.
and blunt too, aren't they?
What?
More pulling.
Shields.
Shields do bludgeoning damage, yeah. But, I mean, they're not designed for it.
Sure, sure. Like a hammer
Yeah, they
makes
used
the
to
most
be
sense
used
right here.
this way. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you have ropes tied to the legs and pittons all throughout it that are forming cracks in it. And or I just tried to thunder wave it, which did nothing to it.
I am gonna wild shape into a draft horse, a little mecha horse up here, and I'm gonna start kicking it with my hooves.
Okay. That is something that's big and blunt.
Does bludgeoning damage. I wish I could roll from my wild shapes.
They're working on
So
that.
it's
But
so I do have to roll regular attacks on this though, right?
yeah. So go ahead. It's a
D20 plus
plus
6.
6 for the
Yep.
draft horse.
It is 18 plus 6 for 24.
Okay, yeah, that's going to be hard enough to deal damage.
And I do
2d4
plus
plus
4.
4.
Mhm. That is 6 plus 4 for 10.
So 10 damage.
10 damage, and I'll kick it again.
Okay. Go ahead.
That's an 11 plus, what was it, 6?
Yeah.
The rolls are coming up in front of the, there it is. So yeah, 11 plus 6 for 17.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be enough to deal some damage to it. So go ahead and roll your damage.
Looks like 5 plus 4 for 9.
Okay. So, with the structural damage from the pittons, you seem to be making some progress on this, but it
Then I just
hasn't
keep going
broken
at it.
yet. Okay.
Pooh, I rolled a 4 on attack, so 10 total to hit.
Yeah, your next one goes a little wide. You misjudge where you're at and just don't manage to make contact with the statue like you were expecting.
Feels on brand, rolling again. Oh, it was almost a natural 20. 12 plus 6 for 18.
Okay, yeah, that's going to be enough to deal some damage.
Oh, fun. Double ones for a total of 6 damage.
Okay.
And I'm just going to keep going here.
You're just going to keep going? Okay.
I'm just going to keep going until it starts to like really start to give.
Okay.
That's a 20 to hit.
Yeah, that's going to hit. On this contact with it, you manage to break it because of all of the structural damage that was done earlier by the pittons. And the leg crumbles, and as it crumbles beneath it, the weight of the statue becomes lopsided, and it's too heavy to support itself on the one single leg, and it begins to tilt over and fall. You are up
I
on the roof,
quickly
and
dart out of the
Ito
way.
is still up on the roof. As the statue collapses, it breaks through the ceiling, and you guys fall into the crypt. You will take 2 damage. I rolled 2 ones on my t6s. So you take 2 falling damage, each of you.
I'm still a horse.
As you fall in there, landing amongst the rubble there.
So sad that Heavy Armor Master doesn't work on that type of damage, or else it would have been none.
Right. Yeah, and so now you have 2 ropes that are tied to rubble that I guess you just decided to do nothing with. So, all right. So you
I
have
get
now
up and
destroyed
I
a
do
building
like
and a statue.
I
Are
get
there
up
any
neigh
local
mechanically
governments
with a little
nearby?
bit of an echo.
What was that, Miseki?
Are there any local governments nearby we can disrupt? I want to make sure we stay on brand.
We are headed to Blue Lake to return some children. Who
That's
knows
true.
what we'll find there?
Yeah, and returning these children might belong to the other places.
They're old enough. They told us where they came from.
Yeah. The children lie. All right. I think at this
So-
point we should probably just try and get back as fast as we can.
I'll invite the dwarfs to come with us, or yeah, because it's really muddy and probably not going to be fun without water walk.
Can I ask the dwarves just while we're traveling, assuming they come with us, if the Harringtons have always been very weird?
He was just in need of some protection and some space away from everybody.
Did he say why?
No, not particularly.
Note to self: have always been secretive, weird. Yes.
The dwarfs are going to return to the mountains and see
Well,
what's going on with their people.
Okay.
That is what they want to do.
It might be easier if you go to Blue Lake with us and then hit up the mountains from there.
I mean, Blue Lake's the
Potentially,
complete
just offering.
opposite direction.
Okay, never mind then.
Yeah.
You can stay close enough, and I'll give you an hour's worth of water walk.
Yeah.
Your Majesty, before you leave, and I'll pull him specifically aside a little bit away from everyone else. Be cautious when entering the kingdom under the mountain. There is some internal strife amongst the dwarves there. Your arrival may be welcome, but it also may cause additional strife. I suggest you keep your wits about you when you arrive.
He just gives you a weird kind of questioning look. We'll be fine.
Also, I hand him the little sculpture that I had for Sephin, and I say, amongst the King Guard is a dwarf named Sephin. If you find him, please give this to him and let him know that Ore wishes him well.
And with that, he gives you an even more peculiar look because you've already said there are no more kings. So
But
mentioning
there's
a
still a
king
King's
guard.
not what
Guard.
we said.
Was it known that there were still a King's Guard even though there are no more king? I guess that's absolutely contradictory to itself. So yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank God. Okay, math.
All right. So you do your water walk ritual. The dwarfs head off east back towards the mountains, and the rest of you head off west towards Blue Lake with the children in tow.
Correct.
Excellent.
Okay.
Mm.
So you begin making your way through the wetlands towards Blue Lake. As you're going, you're a bit slowed down than you were before because now you have children in tow with you. They keep asking to ride on the back of Mizeki. Will
These
Mizeki
are
allow
human
children? These are human children.
Hold on. Yes. But they have to take turns.
I mean, they're small enough you could easily carry all three of them.
Well, yes, but I don't want children fighting on my back.
All right.
So at most 2 of them at a time, and then
Okay.
the other one can walk beside.
Okay. So
Mizeki-
probably always keeping the 2 to 3 year old on your back, I'm assuming.
That
And
makes
making
sense,
the
yeah.
older switch out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Inazeki, if you would like, I could turn back into a horse and give them a ride for several hours if you'd like. Just let me know.
No, this is fine. I've carried far worse for far longer.
All right. But with that, you're able to make a bit better time by, having the children ride with you instead of walking at their slow speed.
We can put the last one in the bag of holding.
Okay, so you want to kill the children. Got it.
Or just have Ito carry it on his shoulders. You probably won't even notice.
Yeah, Ito can definitely carry a child or two.
Okay. All right, so 2 on Mizeki's back, the other on Ito's shoulders. You're able to make your way towards Blue Lake. It takes most of the day, but you reach the lake, Blue Lake, and the city is on the far western side, right up against the sea. But you have found the lake's edge, and you're able to begin making your way around it. As you've gotten here, the plants aren't as overgrown here now that you're actually at the lake. And so it's not as bad as it was before, but it is still very muddy and mucky land.
We'll just keep water walk going.
Okay. It is getting to a
Would it-
point where you're going to need to set up camp to rest or push through the night and risk exhaustion.
I suggest camping for the night.
I would. I mean, how far do we have to go, roughly? Do we
Um,
know?
it's a very large lake. Looking at your map that you have of it, um, from where you reach this, um, you imagine it's another day to day and a half.
Okay,
Um,
so pushing through the night doesn't get us there.
yeah,
In
and
that case, then yeah, we should
How
probably.
about how long would it take to cross the lake with water walk?
oh right, you definitely can't let it run out if you're crossing the lake. Um,
Of course.
so,
Oh
but
dang!
going in a straight line across the lake would be about another 14 hours, so not a full day, but yeah.
I
We'll
forgot
do that
to
tomorrow.
ask.
Worth
Is
resting first.
the mirror's not magical after we break it, right?
Correct. Yeah, breaking it
Can
destroys it
can we
entirely.
put it back together with mend, and then I want to keep it.
Um,
I'll put it in my thing tonight.
how are you going to carry a 4-foot mirror around?
I can just carry it. I don't normally carry anything in my hands.
Can you store stuff in your space?
Yeah, but only once a day. That's the plan. Is I'll put it in my space.
Right.
I mean, I guess I can go into my space early. I'll just have to sleep out with you guys and then be sad.
Mhm.
Would you have taken
Mm,
the other items that we were, or we do have them wrapped up in bedding and kind of dragging them behind us?
I mean, I can definitely take a lot of stuff because it's stuff I have to be able to carry. The main
Gotcha.
issue is just when we want to take it back out, I can only go in and out once a day.
Okay, yeah, if you're okay with doing that so we can carry that
Yeah,
without much of a hassle.
I will do that. In exchange, I am not taking watch.
Deal. I'll take watch for you.
So I guess before we leave, if we could have mended the mirror, and then I'll put as much stuff as we need into my space
Okay.
and be sad.
Yeah, I mean, with that, you can basically put most of the small pieces of artwork
Yeah,
and
the
things in
chest and
there.
all.
So, yeah, easy enough to do.
So looks like an art storeroom inside your space now, like a whole bunch
Yeah,
of art just piled up.
of course. Like half of it's only going to come back out.
Right.
It'll just be a bunch of art everywhere.
Okay. Um, so what is your plan to prevent sinking down into the mud while you sleep? There aren't any trees this time for you to make your way up
True.
in because you're now on the shore.
That's a good question. We have a 10-man tent.
I guess back
There's no
up. How
trees.
far would we have to get to trees that we could hammock up in?
Or even like just a high enough point that's a little drier, like
Yeah.
search for a little bit of a higher spot.
Um, to get to a higher spot, you're going to have to go further towards the city around the lake bed to get out of the actual floodplains that is Typhon's Folly. Um, so as far as getting out, your best option at that point would be just, press on, risk the exhaustion. But
Yeah.
if you want to try and find trees, you could head back maybe an hour or so back into more of the plants and see if you can find a good tree to come up in.
I would rather press on than be attacked by
Then
one of
yeah.
those shambling plant monsters.
I also agree with that. Are we? Which way are we circling the lake? Are we circling to the south of the lake or to the north of the lake?
To the north. If you circle to the
The north.
south, you'd be looking at like 5 days to get to the city.
Okay, got it. To the north, got it.
Just because it would take a long time to walk around. And you'd basically be bumping up against Harrington again at that point.
Right.
Uh,
So yeah, north it is.
yeah, it's a big old massive lake.
Look at that. Where is the city on the lake? It has to be to the north, right?
So the city is on the lake itself, but it's
Gotcha.
on the western edge, like right where that little land strip meets the sea. Um,
Gotcha.
so yeah, like if you just crossed the lake directly from where you are, instead of following the edge using your water walk, you'd be making a straight line for it, which is why it wouldn't take as long. But it's a big old lake, and you're walking, and you're slow because you got kids, and kids always slow things down.
So yeah, I guess just keep going until we find a better, drier spot to camp, and just kind of push on until we can get there.
Okay, so you
Mhm.
don't want to cross the lake directly. You want to skirt around the edge.
14 hours, I'd rather do it when I can see.
I mean, you can always see.
Well, I mean, as in, like, through the water.
Right. Okay. Okay. Um, you're not going to get out of Typhon's Folly in a few hours either. Um, so really, this is as good a spot as you're going to find without going back for trees, because you're not really going to find anything better than this.
Well,
Okay, so we have no choice but to start slowly sinking into the wet marsh then.
Or retreat back and set up camp in some trees, or press forward for hours crossing the lake. So it's basically sink or exhaustion or retreat back a bit.
I'm fine going back an hour.
I am too, if that's the case.
Okay.
Weighing those options, that's the best one, I think.
Yeah, because then we're just losing an hour to be able to gain sleep and rest. So
Yep.
yeah, that makes the sense to me.
Okay. So easy enough to do. You backtrack to where you find some plants and some trees that you can kind of set up a hammock. It's not as good as it was previously because you're a little bit further south and out of where the plants are growing as much. But you are able to make it and find a place to set up some camp and get up above so that you don't sink through the night. Is there anything that you're wanting to do during the night?
I would investigate those slippers and see if I can kind of discern what I can from what their enchantment might be.
Okay, so you want to try and attune to the slippers?
Sure, why not?
Okay. Let me see.
How do you feel about spiders?
Ew.
I've been one before.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so you are able to attune to the slippers. They are slippers of spider climbing.
Oh, nice. I mean, obviously they conform to my feet. What do they look like?
So they are just a pair of slippers. As you attune to them, um, a web shape takes place over them, a webbing pattern on both the sole and on top of the slippers.
Interesting. And that spider climb works automatically while I'm wearing these, right?
Yeah.
Just all
So
the time?
you have a climb speed equal to your walk speed at this point while you're attuned to them.
So I just like Spider-Man perch up the tree for the evening.
Yeah.
Keeping
I
my
mean,
eyes out.
you and Sadzi can both do that now. So,
Cool.
okay. Anything else that you are wanting to do for the evening?
I'll pray to Arnwell that the souls of those who were trapped in the laboratory will be able to find peace.
Okay. Is anybody else wanting to try and attune to one of the items you tried the previous night?
Ooh, and I'll poke around at the onyx cube
Okay.
because I only need 4 hours of meditation, so I get a little bit of extra time.
Okay. Do you want the cuboid out as well while you do that, or just the cube by itself?
I'll do just the cube by itself before trying them both together. I'd want to be in a little more stable of a location.
Okay.
I'm going to be present for this as well.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check then, Alondio.
11.
Could I do that as well? I'm also proficient in Arcana.
Yeah, I would have called you over. Both of us
Or do you
function
want to
pretty much the
do
same.
advantage?
You are better at Arcana probably than I am.
Okay.
Okay.
Guidance. Have guidance on your roll.
I rolled it and nothing's happening. Let me do it again.
Looks like it's rolling now.
So that's a 12 for a total of 17. They add the 4 to it. For 4, that is 21.
Okay. So having examined the previous cuboid, this gives off that same kind of feel to it, but nothing happens as you're inspecting it. But it does seem to be very similar to the cuboid you already have.
Cool.
Once we're out of, I'll tell Ore, once we get to a place, firm ground, we can take a look at them both together. I don't want to risk anything with the kids so close.
So, with the ages that we've discerned these children from, at which age do your species become self-sufficient?
I don't know about humans.
I don't either. But exclusively for you, for elves, at what age do you guys become self-sufficient? And I'm curious, what is your age?
Oh, I mean, it it varies across families. Um, I was finally deemed. Well, I've been doing a little bit of stuff at home, but age, I'm about 110 years old, 110 years young.
And what is that in your species life cycle? It does seem that many of the common folk have pretty dramatically different age cycles.
Oh yeah, it's not uncommon for humans to die before reaching my age. I still got natural lifespan. I still got quite some time in me.
It's very curious. For as old as I am, I have no idea for what the length of my lifespan should be normally. I keep thinking about the ancient construct that was in a case in the City of Steel. It was far younger than I am now, and inert. I'm not sure what that purpose can mean for me.
Time's a weird thing. It impacts all living things in different ways. And all things have different times to their ends. And yours is not yet. I feel like you got a good amount left in you still.
I hope so. I just hope that I'm able to recover more of the memories of who I was. I feel a little, if it's okay for me to confide in you, I feel a little lost. I'm not
I,
sure what my purpose was versus what it should be now. I'm not sure if this makes sense.
oh, it does. I mean, to lose your memories without them, they're a big part of who you are. What makes you you is your experiences that you've had, and to have lost those, I can definitely understand that confusion and missing that purpose, that disconnect from your origin. It's something we'd see in the care that I did in my family service. The like when elderly would um, sometimes in their waning years have trouble remembering when you hit 700. It's quite a bit of experience to try and keep track of it all. And they're not all of them were able to, and it was an experience that was a little troubling to see them struggle and go through. So I can only imagine to have only an inclination of what your time could be and what you might have lost to have to try and put that together and make a new path.
I I felt a little bit of that when we were speaking to that woman in Hamlet. She seemed very on in her years, even a long lifespan of her people, her memory fading on her. I wonder if the length of my age is what caused that to happen to me. I
It's,
wish I could
it's
remember what I've missed in my life.
I wish I could provide more insight into that. I'm not all that familiar with um, beings such as yourself, but I do know that if you trust in yourself, trust in um, your God, that you will be able to receive the direction that the Night Mother will guide you. Look to her for direction, for assistance, seek her signs in the stars, and she'll speak to you as mine does to me. And I find great comfort in that communion.
Thank you. That was that was very helpful. I appreciate the time you've spent helping me with some of the guidance I've needed.
You're welcome. It's one of the things I take great joy in.
And with that, I guess we'll take a long rest.
Anything else anybody would like to do for the evening?
Zeki would probably quietly chat to his patron, just trying to learn more about him
Okay.
and anything. But I don't have any specific questions off the top of my head right now.
Okay. So
I'll do
yeah.
some dancing lights for the kids before we go to bed too. Just make them twinkle and
Oh, and I have
move around.
I have a tiny mechanical horseman. We will play with that as well.
Okay.
I guess before settling in for his long rest, Ore would stare at the sky and say a quiet prayer to the Star Mother, seeking
That's
some of that guidance that Elondiel was suggesting.
Fair enough. Okay. If there's nothing else anybody would like to do for the evening, Mizeki, when you have some questions that you want answered by your patron, just shoot them to me, and
Yeah.
I'll get them answered. That'll be the conversation that you have.
Yep.
But if there's nothing else, you guys go ahead and get your long rest, and you have the morning to decide which way you want to approach getting these children back to Blue Lake.
um, so it'd be more than a day, like it's still another day and a half to go around. I or 14 hours to go across. I'm fine doing the long way. We can flag down a boat too if we potentially see one. Going
Especially,
the long way. I mean straight across the water. It's a long day, but
Yeah.
yeah, that would be a long day, and who knows what's in the lake. So,
most
not
big
sh-
things are
not sure
deep.
how that would work with us doing water walk though. Like they wouldn't be able to pull us under.
You'd float back up.
But could they actually pull you under if something did grab onto you?
With enough
And
strength, yeah.
would you just immediately start suffocating because you're now in what is to you effectively a solid?
Uh,
No, you wouldn't immediately start suffocating because you'd still be underwater, and
If
like
a
the effect
target
of the
is
spell starts
submerged,
shooting you
yeah,
up. So
yeah. If you go under, it's submerged in liquid. The spell carries the target to the surface of the liquid at a rate of 60 feet per round.
yeah.
So
So you'd still have your hold breath and things. But if anything can hold you under that water against the effects of that spell, you're probably dead anyway. So
We're also traveling with the children, so yeah, probably best to stay on the ground because we're heading north, so it should get to more plainsland and a little bit more stable ground if we do have to camp, right?
yeah, so
Cool.
the further north and east that you go, the more that you'll get out of the wetlands. Um, and staying along the shore there, yeah. So if you stay along the shore and travel for your day, you should be out of Typhon's Folly for that. Um,
Cool.
and so you should be able to camp without any worries there. But like I said, you could just cut straight across the lake with water walk. It'd be a long day of travel for you, but you would get there before, you know, the end of the
Another
night.
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do a history check. Is Blue Lake known for being a dangerous place of yeah, a dangerous lake for people?
Yeah.
21.
So Blue Lake is not known to be a super dangerous lake. It's a fairly shallow lake. And lake isn't even necessarily the correct term for it, for
Like an
what you
inland
know.
sea.
Yeah, because when the tide comes in each night, the land bridge that Blue Lake is built right next to is completely engulfed in water and is under the sea itself. So Blue Lake is a saltwater lake. Um, and it's deep, but the deepest spot only gets down to about 100 feet in the center of the lake. Most of the lake averages only about 20-foot depth, so there isn't anything massive that can be hiding in there that's a super danger to things. And most things that would be dangerous and could live in that shallow of water don't generally have any reason to cross when the tide comes in. So
Let's do it. Let's take the long way. I mean the
the
long walk, long
long
day
day.
across the lake. Yep, the long day.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. So easy enough for you to do. So the 14 hours is accounting for you stopping to do your um, ritual along the way as you need to keep up. But yeah, you're able to cross the lake and get to the city, which is a stilted city. So every thing is built on stilts. There are little platforms that float that go up and down with the water that allow you to essentially get onto ladders and climb up into the stilted area. As you get there, the kids are super relieved to be home, but they're also very exhausted from the long day. Um, but you come in and you are greeted by three happy sets of parents who see you bringing their children home.
Hooray!
Where did you find them? It's been days since they've been gone. We thought that they were lost, like so many that have happened before.
We haven't dealt with the statue yet, right?
Correct.
I
That's yeah, we have to go back.
I would say we've probably talked about this before we got here, but we should probably like explain like we will tell you more when we get back. We have to hurry before the statue moves, and we can explain it all when we get back. But like the kids are back
While
safe.
we're
We gotta
here,
go finish this.
Yeah, we
yeah,
gotta
while we're here,
stay
Ito
the
would
night
like to buy horses and a hammer.
There are not horses here. This is a city up on stilts. No need for horses for them at
Right,
all, so not something
right.
there.
There are no horses with stilts.
Seahorses. We want seahorses like Aquaman.
But a hammer.
Yeah, I'm mostly
What
looking at
what
just
kind of
speeding up the
hammer
way
are you
back
looking
across.
for? Are you looking for like a war
Um,
hammer, like a weapon, or are you looking for like what you use to slam in the pittons to the statue?
more looking for the biggest thing that would be best for destroying a large statue.
Yeah,
The
no, they
sledge.
like there is an armory here. So yeah, you can get a warhammer for sure. You can get a sledgehammer, and you can get another hammer like you used previously to put in the pittons.
I'll take a maul actually, because Ito doesn't really have a great heavy weapon option.
Okay, yeah, easy enough to do. It's just whatever the price is in the player's handbook for them all.
Did we divide up the coin? Out
Uh,
of curiosity.
Not yet. I don't think we've formally done that.
Gotcha.
But I mean, Alondiel keeps track of your party funds, so
Yep.
throw it all in your bag of holding.
Yep.
If you need to make a withdrawal, just let me know how much. A mall is not a big expense, so
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I have no problem disturbing
Ito
those who need it
has
from the funds.
Ito has a whole pile of coin on his own already.
Yeah, and it looks like Maul is 10 gold, so
Oh yeah. I would let the families know exactly where we found them. We're not going to keep that a secret.
right.
Um,
Do you
and I would also
mention the statue at all?
Yes.
I ask them if they're aware of a statue that do they see a wishing statue? Do they ever experience a statue here of a lady holding a child?
Yes,
That comes and
they
goes.
answer in the affirmative. They call it Powers Baby.
And how long? When was the last time you saw it?
10 minutes ago?
Can you take us there
Before
now,
that,
please?
yeah.
One of you. The rest, please take care of your children.
Yeah. So they lead you through the city down towards the edge of the shore on the north side of the city. And there is a small little island there that has a platform on it that the statue is there and standing on.
Does the statue come and go?
Yeah, it's not here all the time, but we built a platform for it, and it always goes there.
Had somebody made a wish the day the children went missing?
No, the statue wasn't here the day the children went missing.
And did it come back after like the day after they went missing?
It came back earlier this morning. Hasn't been here for like a year before that.
Okay.
They went
Okay.
missing, and they start counting the days. 3-4 days ago now,
Would
which
that
that
would
lines
that
up with
line up?
when you guys
Yep.
encountered the statue.
And 3 successful wishes were made at the statue when we were there.
Correct.
Thus,
Which
3
taking
children.
the children. Okay. Mizeki's gonna pull out the signed note he has, but not quite show it to them. Just kind of, it has the council stuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna be like, per council orders, we need you to leave this area immediately. Please return to your home and stay safe. We will come get you as soon as it is safe to do so.
Yeah, which they do so,
Right.
and they want to spend time with their kid. So
We're gonna need to, and please make sure that there is no one in the water at the time. Get everyone safe inside their houses for a little bit. We need to deal with this.
okay, all right,
I don't want anybody like drowning because it like explodes or something.
fair enough.
Or their power ends and they have to like be able
Yeah.
to breathe underwater or something.
So,
Okay,
and then I guess we'll try and blow this up.
easy enough to do.
We need a bigger gun.
So
We
Ito's
need.
fresh shiny mall.
Ito has a big old shiny maul now. So
Yeah.
you guys have something big and blunt to do the statue. The statue isn't as big as the one on the roof, but you definitely make your way down to the island where the statue is. What
Ito
is
or
your
Mazeki
plan?
will recommend first we're gonna break the baby. Because the baby represents Typhon, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, baby
When
first. Through the head.
before that, on inspection, does this look like the exact same statue we encountered?
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
Okay.
So there's literally some sort of large area spell sucking away children whenever someone gets a wish.
Or it expends a certain amount before it moves.
Yeah.
I think it's upon granting a wish, the payment is the
Is
stolen
the child. Yeah.
Yep.
From
And
the
it
nearby
steals it
area.
from where it's going next.
Maybe.
Ito looks at the statue
This
with
is their
Maul
guess,
raised over his head, very clearly in like a ready to downward swing on the baby's head position, and just says, "I wish for you to be gone now."
Okay.
That don't make wishes for it. It'll steal the
That'll
child.
be
We're all gonna move
23.
back. By the way.
You'd already made a wish before, right?
Yeah.
Ito did attempt a wish, and you
Okay.
do have to sing it as part of the condition. So, okay, you
Not
said you got a
making
23 to
wishes in
hit.
front of the dangerous wishes.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the damage on it.
11.
Okay. So, as the Maul makes contact with the statues, in quick succession, several things happen. The first thing that happens is as soon as the Maul makes contact with the statue, you feel vibrations going up and down your arms. I need you to make a Constitution save.
15. It was a 20 and it rolled over.
Okay. The vibrations continue up your arms into your body, going throughout. You feel every bit of pain that you inflicted. You take equal damage to what that is, and you are stunned, unable to move. In addition, a loud scream emits from the statue. I need everybody to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh,
19.
12.
15.
Waiting on D&D Beyond.
I have a
Okay, and
thing.
Zerdig got a 13.
My good save 2. I rolled a 5.
Okay.
8, but I'm a fae if that matters.
Alright.
23 for me.
Okay.
Oh, true. If it's a
It has a charm
Yeah,
effect
yeah.
for Mizeki and Alondiel that affects you, right? Charm you get advantage on.
I am still affected by them. I don't get
so
the
that makes it
advantage.
that makes it a 15
Okay.
against. Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
I
it's
get
weird.
advantage.
I don't,
so.
as a
Oh.
fae, actually a fae, I don't have the fae resistance.
All right. Okay. But Zerdig is also
Helps
gets
you.
there. And
Yeah.
gets a 9. Okay.
So my roll went up to a 15, which is slightly better.
So Alondiel, Sadzi, and Ito, you are all fine. You are unaffected. Zerdig, Ore, you got a 23. You are also unaffected.
I hope so.
Zerdig and Mazeki, however, you must protect the statue at all costs. You cannot let it be destroyed.
Okay.
And then finally, the statue begins to move. The baby gets absorbed into the statue, and you see just the mother there who takes an offensive stance. And that is where we will end tonight's session.
Oh.
Hey, fun. Weak dude in the front line, one of our frontline fighters. Oh, this is gonna be wild.
Never get behind a mother and her child.
Yeah. Because she'll eat him and then fight you.
All right.
That's how I'm a druid. That's how it happens in nature, right?
Yeah, that's what this is normal. Or it's like this is how all animals do things.
Well, that was fun. I'm glad that we got
Yeah.
there. So,
Yeah. This is wild. It's a good spot to stop.
Yeah.
Ugh,
It is a pretty good spot to stop. Yeah.
I'm gonna
And
get
right on
shot.
time, too.
Yep. Yeah, I was watching the time the whole time as you guys were resting, and I'm like, are they going to find that the statue is here? Like, I wasn't sure. I was like, is that going to happen at the start? Because I'm like, I want to end
I'm
with
glad
this.
I'm glad we made everyone go away.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to like beat up a bunch of random
The whole
townsfolk.
village.
Okay.
Oh, that would have been bad.
So,
Why am I just imagining, like, Ito with Doomslayer music playing, fighting off a dozen townsfolk with a maul?
Oh, that'd be horrible. I
Right,
can't save
instead of
that many
top of the
people.
stream.
all right. Thanks everybody for coming, for hanging out, for watching the stream. We appreciate it, and we will be back in 2 weeks. We will see you all then. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.